Hello everyone, welcome back to the Shubham Compile Tech channel, and today we are going to practically learn about HTML semantic elements and why they are important for modern web development. So let's start by asking a simple question: what are semantic elements? And the answer is semantic elements are elements with meaning. That's right, a semantic element clearly describes its meaning to both the client browser and the developer also. Examples of non-semantic elements include div tag, span tag, which tells nothing about its content, but on the other hand, examples of semantic elements include the image tag, table tag, article tag, and so on, which clearly defines its content. So why to use HTML semantic elements at all? Because firstly, they improve code readability. Secondly, they help with SEO, that is search engine optimization. And lastly, they make websites more accessible for screen readers. Many websites contain HTML code like div tag with ID attribute, value as nav, then another div tag with class attribute and value as header and footer to indicate navigation, header and footer respectively. You can still make a website like that only, but generally it is not recommended. Instead, in HTML, there are several semantic elements that can be used to define different parts of a web page, such as nav tag, header tag, footer tag, main tag, and the section tag, and so on. So let's start learning them one by one. Firstly, we have the header tag and footer tag. The header element represents a container for introductory content or a set of navigation links. A header element typically contains one or more heading elements, logo or icon, authorship information, and so on. So if we go to our Visual Studio Code here and let's add a new header here. So inside body, let's create a new header element here, and inside it let's create a heading 1 for our website title. So let's give our website a title here and let's call it my website. And below this, let's introduce a line break here by br element, actually two line breaks for better visualization. And below this, let's define some links here with anchor tag. So anchor and href as, let's just say, hashtag, which just don't go to any page and stays on the current page when the link is clicked. And let's name our link here, let's just say home, and let's just copy it for our contact page. So contact, and another one for our about page. So if we now save and open our index.html file in the web browser, we can see that our website title is here called my website, and below this we have two line breaks, and after that we have home link, contact link, and about link. And if we click on it, it will not go anywhere but stay on the current page because we have added href as hashtag, so that allows us to not go to any page and stay on the current page. Now it is important to note that you can have several header elements in one HTML document. However, header cannot be placed within a footer element, address element, or another header element. Then we have the footer element. The footer element defines a footer for a document or section. A footer element typically contains authorship information, copyright information, contact information, back to top links, and related documents. So if we go to our Visual Studio Code here and define a new footer tag here, let's just say footer here, and inside it let's place a paragraph here, and let's just say copyright copyright 2026 and Shubham Singh and all rights reserved. So we now save and open our web page in the web browser here and refresh the page. We can see that our footer element is represented here with a paragraph saying copyright 2026 Shubham saying all rights reserved. And also we can have several footer elements in one document like the header element. Next, we have the section element. The section element defines a section in a document. Or in simple words, a section is thematic grouping of content typically with a heading. So let's add a section element between our header and footer element like we do in a real website. So let's add a section element here, and inside it let's define a heading here with h2 element, and let's just say STC or SCT for Shubham compile tag, and below this let's add a paragraph here which just says Shubham compiled tag channel is good for learning programming and working on real world projects. So if we now save and open our index.html file in the web browser and refresh the page, we can see that our section element represented here with heading saying SCT, which stands for Shubham compile tag, and a paragraph which says Shubham compile tag channel is good for learning programming and working on real world projects. Now we can have many section tags inside our website. There is no limit and you can add as many sections as you want. Just make sure they are unique because otherwise it will be useless. So let's add another section element here with heading as www, and which stands for World Wide Web. So let's just say World Wide Web is amazing. So if we now save and refresh our index.html page, we can see that we have now two sections. One is for SCT and another one is for www World Wide Web. Now examples of where a section element can be used are in chapters, introduction, news items, contact information, and etc. A web page would normally be split into sections for introduction, content, and contact information. Next, we have the article element. The article element specifies independent, self-contained content. An article should make sense on its own, and it should be possible to distribute it independently from the rest of the website. So if we go to our Visual Studio Code here and let's write a new article tag here. So article, and inside it let's write our heading here with h2. Let's just say Google Chrome, and below this let's write a paragraph also about Google Chrome. Let's just say Google Chrome is amazing web browser, and let's add another article element here just like our section tag, and let's just say with heading h2, let's just say Microsoft Edge, and below this let's also write a paragraph. Let's just say Microsoft Edge is awesome browser. So we now save and go to our index.html file in the web browser and refresh the page. Here we can see that our article is now shown in the web page with title as Google Chrome and paragraph as Google Chrome is amazing web browser, and another article with heading Microsoft Edge and content as Microsoft Edge is awesome browser. And examples of where the article element can be used are forum post, blog post, user comments, product cards, and newspaper articles, and so on. Now you might be confused that, sir, what is the difference between the section element and the article element? And the answer is that the article element specifies independent self-contained content, and on the other hand the section element defines a section in a document. Also, you will find HTML web pages on the internet with section elements containing article elements and article elements containing section elements. So yes, you can match them if you need to, and there's no problem with that. So let's also see an example of it. So let's write an article tag here with heading as, let's just say heading 2 with text as blog post, and its content as a section tag with, let's give a heading also. Let's give a heading 3 here, and let's just say blog post 1, and below this let's write a paragraph here saying this is blog post 1 and let's just copy it few times here. So copy and paste. Then let's copy the whole section here and let's write another section here inside the article tag and let's name it to blog post 2 and let's just copy, or I should say remove and replace the blog post content here. Let's just say this is blog post 2 and let's just copy it a few times to make it a paragraph. And if we save it and open it in the browser and refresh the page, here we can see that our blog post article is here with the heading blog post, and inside it we have two sections called blog post 1 with paragraph this content here and another section with blog post 2 as heading and the paragraph content here. So next we have the nav element. The nav element simply defines a set of navigation links. And if we go to our Visual Studio Code here, let's remove all of this from here and keep the header and footer here. So let's remove all of it and let's only keep our header here, and inside the header let's define a new nav element here which contains all of the links in the header. So let's move it a little bit to format the code and paste the nav element closing tag here. And if we now save and refresh our index.html page here, you can see that our links are shown here grouped together in the code with the nav elements. And if we click on any one of them, it will not take to us another document or external resource because we have defined the href attribute as hashtag. One important thing to note here is that not all links of a document should be inside a nav element. The nav element is intended for only major blocks of navigation links. Next, we have the aside element. The aside element defines some content aside from the content it is placed in, like a sidebar. The side content should be indirectly related to surrounding content. And if we see an example of it, let's remove, or let's actually add a section here, and inside it let's write some heading here. Let's just say SCT and let's define a paragraph also. Let's just say Shubham compiled tech channel is amazing. And below our section element here, let's add a side element here with a heading of h3 and let's just say information. And below this let's write a paragraph also that just says good for learning programming and building real world projects. So if we now save and open our web page in the web browser and refresh the web page, here we can see that our section element is here with title as SCT. Then we have our content here of section element, and below this we have our aside element with heading as information and content as good for learning programming and building real world projects. Next, we have the figure and fig caption elements. The figure element specifies self-contained content like illustrations, diagrams, photos, code listing, and etc. And the figure element defines a caption for a figure element. The fig caption element can be placed as the first or as the last child of figure element, while the image element defines the actual image or illustration. So if we go to our Visual Studio Code here, and let's remove this content from here and let's create a new section here, and below this let's write a new heading here with h2. Let's just say sct logo, and below this let's define an image tag here with source as, let's just say, images forward slash my picture.png, and let's define a width of 200 and height of also 200, and let's self close it. And then what we need to do is we need to actually cover our image element with a figure element here. Let's write figure and let's cut it from here and paste the end element here, and let's also write the fig caption here inside the figure element, and let's just say Shubham compiled tag logo. And if we now save it and refresh our web page here, We can see that our Shubham compiled tag caption is represented here, and below this we have our Shubham compiled tag logo here. Then we can also have our fake caption below our image also. So let's actually do that also. And if we paste our fake caption below our image here and let's save and refresh our web page here, we can see that our fake caption is now represented at the bottom of our image. So if this video helped you understand HTML semantic elements, please like the video, subscribe to the channel and comment your curious questions. And also follow me on the Instagram, link is in the description. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.